right, let's get Temple Ashaju back into the conversation around today's trading day. It's been an exciting 4-day market week. So, Temple, welcome back to the show. Let's begin to wrap up the show and the trading week. So, is the opening call about an hour or so ago on our local bus. Any fresh numbers, details you've got for us?
Well, surprisingly, we had expected some kind of profits taken to set in today, but that hasn't really happened. Well, instead, what we're saying is again, gains again in the performance of the index. It's up some 0.4% as we speak, for 0.41 or 0.42%, and we've seen the banks again, maintaining the momentum lately. Axis Bank is still up, still trending. You got FBN Holdings. Which I think has even crossed 7 naira now, continuing to move. Axis Bank, interestingly, is a counter to watch. That particular stock has actually outperformed all other stocks, in the market so far this year. It's in the last 3 weeks, we understand that it has moved up some 52% in the last 3 weeks. So for those who had actually bought Axis Bank when it was around 6 naira plus, perhaps they're warming up to cash out when it hits 12 naira, because yesterday it closed at 10 naira 80 kobo. That means it will cross 11 naira today. So by the time it touches 12 naira, the usual support level some few years ago, then you want to see some investors that will start cashing out. That's about the only bank that is currently standing as a year-to-date performance that is really positive. I think its year-to-date is 58% as we speak, and no other bank, measures up to that level in the market as we speak. Perhaps the whole recovery, debt recovery strategy of the team at the helm of affairs there, led by Mr. Herbert Wigwe, looks like it is really, really paying investors, and it's paying off. And of course, a lot of investors are watching that performance, and that appears to be the reason why investors, foreign and domestic, are really bullish in it. So if you look at other counters, the same sentiments as what we are having. Investors continue to buy on all of those other tier 1 banking names. Even the tier 2 banks, mid-tier banks, are currently doing well. To take a look at Wema Bank, which is trending around 59 kobo, 62 kobo, has actually yesterday hit 70 kobo. And that particular level of sentiment, continues to grow. So the banks are the main movers as we speak. I see the all-share index of the exchange, hitting 27,000 psychological line going forward. And of course, we see this trend, moving on till the Yuletide period. That's all we know so far, Bosin.
Yes, Temple, the banks are the big story, and that's very interesting there. I think the M&A or the business combination of Diamond Bank into Access Bank is one big story there. The new Access, as it were, has also been able to keep the dividend-paying policy in place and all of that. That's very interesting. But just about 1 or 2 minutes to chat you up with that interview you had yesterday with the CEO of Red Star Express about what the government is doing within the agriculture space is beginning to flow into a new investment that companies such as Red Star Express is now making. That struck me in that interview, in the opening part of the interview, that he sees that all the interventions of the central bank and the government into agriculture sector, he says land borders had been closed, so folks are returning to farms in droves. And he is taking what you call the first mover advantage, investing in agricultural value chain, logistics, and all of that, because he believes that this agricultural focus by the government will actually work. Okay, Tempo, we're still with you about that interview with the CEO of a Red Star Express about what the government is doing within the agriculture space and why that looks like a very what you call signaling to investors in that Red Star Express is trying to raise 1.4 billion naira in rights issue from existing shareholders to leverage the outputs, all that is going on within the agri sector.
Yes, Bosin. I mean, that's correct. That's the information that Mr. Obabori actually gave yesterday. And of course, I know they had the facts behind the figures session yesterday as well to be able to get a buy-in of the traders, dealers that you have, members of the stock exchange here. Basically, that's what they really want to go into. I asked him yesterday if they are considering, a partnership with some of the commodities exchanges that are springing up, all over the country. And he said that's not out of the equation. It is something they're also considering. But more importantly, I think they want to invest in the operational part of the business, talking about more trucks, how they will actually be able to get into the rural areas, how they will move deeper into the remote areas where you have the whole rice investments, and see how they can then bring those commodities out of the farms, to the city, conveying from the farm to the processing zones and all of that. That's a major area that they really want to invest in. And I think the other parts that they want to also invest in is the portion, is the conversation that I had with the GIG logistics folks, which is in the area of applications, online, either mobile apps or basically applications whereby you have consumers or end users that will really want to send some packages or some kind of shipment, and at the end of the day, what they want to do is just tap a button on their mobile phone, and then you hook up with this courier service, and then they get a bike or some kind of a mover to come over to you and pick up such items and then go deliver. So those are the two critical areas that they really want to invest in. This is a team, that came on board some 4 years ago, and so they're looking at bringing in some kind of a level of paradigm shift, to the business, and of course,
Temple, I'm interested in technology here. I'm interested in technology here. For example, if you're talking about parcels and what have you, where we need to start using drone delivery. I'm sure if I have a parcel to send and I'm sitting down in Okokomaiko, somewhere along that corridor, and I could just tell any of those guys or any of the providers and say, could you please just send me a drone to take it, because that road is something else. And then they just say, I'm sitting in Ikorodu, for example, and I say, look, send a drone to me, just attach it to it. If you want to have to deliver it from your logistic base to my house, just send it by drone. I just hope someone doesn't use any long stick somewhere and bring it down to his house before it gets to me. I don't know. I just hope it doesn't happen. But I think we can use technology such as drones to deliver things, even if I have a lunch.
I agree with you.
Can we deliver lunch to you by drone to the stock exchange?
The regulators. I don't know about that, Bosin. Not in Nigeria yet.
Maybe on a wedding day.
I know
maybe
this is already playing
just
out
think
in
about it,
Rwanda,
Temple.
in
Maybe
Kigali,
on a wedding day, like tomorrow,
Nigeria.
Saturday, and I have a wedding gift for someone. You're already married. I'm married already. So, but maybe we just want some gifts to some of our colleagues who's getting married, and ask a drone to bring a nice bottle of, maybe some hot rice. I don't want to talk about any imported good, but maybe something like a hot or father rice with whatever, and just deliver it as a wedding gift, whatever it is. I'm just happy it's weekend,
That shouldn't be
Temple.
impossible, but
Go
until
ahead.
we get the policies of government to ship that for us.
Yes, a bottle of champagne,
we might need
palm
some.
wine.
We might need some policies for that.
Let's use technology to do this across border.
That would be
stop all these
wonderful,
other
actually.
things. Temple, have a great day. I'm just starting to have fun here.
I'm sure we will get there. I am very, very optimistic.
Exactly. We can do a lot with technology these days. We should use this instead of closing the land borders, the customs, others should just use drones and all of that things, immigration people, what have you, to get things done. Thank you so much, Temple. Have a great weekend. We'll see all of you, our viewers, here on Monday. Going to be inflation, bright and early on Monday, November the 18th. I'll see you then.